Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Alizee Yeezy Show podcast. I can't remember what it's called. It's my own show. Here today we are joined by Rob. He's still here. He won't leave. I think he's like sleeping.
I live in the walls.
Studio. And also joined by Angelika Oles.
Yay. I'm here. Hi, I'm Angelika, a drama channel, and I'm here to talk about not drama, hopefully.
Yes.
Yes.
So I feel like I've written down in my notes, because I always bring my notes, explanation about nasty look, because I guarantee there's going to be at least like 5 people who say, oh, I thought Alizee didn't like Angelika. That is a common misconception, and that is my own fault that there is a misconception.
I'm the one who doesn't like Angelika.
Yes. Just to clear this
Rob
up now.
hates her.
Drama here, drama not here.
I've always liked Angelika. We used to talk back in the day on Twitter years ago when I was still drinking and being a raging. You probably saw a lot of my coked up tweets at 5 a.m. Sometimes I would
I like that one. I'll DM her back.
There's some YouTubers that like I used to message whilst I was on coke, carrying normal conversations, like some big YouTubers too, who shall
good
remain.
energy here.
I love the
They
confidence.
used to be like, oh, I really like, she's so engaging. No, it's 5 a.m. and I'm literally just off my nut. So what it is, and we're not going to get into it because it's done, dusted, it's over. But at the beginning of this year, when I was doing my Shane Dawson documentary, it wasn't a documentary, he did a documentary, I was slagging off his documentary. There was a situation that was going on, and where I thought that there might be some valid criticism here, that's fine. Like, you can validly criticize me about just anything that I do ever. I saw a situation that got turned so quickly into, let's make this person the worst person imaginable. And I think it's fair to say that followers of my channel know I'm not about that. I frequently say, you know, Shane Dawson isn't some evil conniving supervillain, right? His IQ points aren't high enough for that. So I gave this look to the camera and I said, oh, that's Angelika Oles in this Shane Dawson clip. I like her. And it wasn't me shading her, it was me shading the situation. But I think there was a miscommunication in me doing that, because I'd not slept for like 5 days filming the Shane Dawson video. It didn't probably come across. Basically, I've always liked you. There's no problem. I've never shaded her or shading everyone else. You want to say something?
Not about that. Just why are you cornering me now?
Because you're just sneering at me in that corner.
Well, you say a lot of stuff.
I would never shade Angelika. I like her a lot. I think she looks lovely. She's great.
Wow.
She's always hyper. It's fantastic. I will shade you.
On the other hand.
A decade of friendship. I'll shade you, Roberto.
People are going to start wondering why I still keep showing up.
Because you're one of my best friends. Please don't leave me. I need you. You like hold this together. I need the sane bloke who just the solid
Brings the normal
strong
in.
man, yes.
Yeah.
the strong
That's what you need.
foundation
That's all you need.
where I can be off with the fairies all the time. So what's everyone been up to this week so far?
Mine's the
Going in
least
order.
interesting, so
Go on.
just saw a few movies.
Go ahead.
Candyman,
Oh.
which people were ranting and raving about. It was okay. It tried to do too much. And The Nest with Jude Law, which is really good. Highly recommend. But not as interesting as the movie you watched.
It's my favorite movie of all time. I think it will become a cult classic. Addison Rae's new movie, He's All That. I felt the chemistry. I think she is getting a nomination for that one. I felt the power in every single scene. I think the dialogue was amazing, actually. And I think it's got like a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I think it's doing good. It's really nice. Yeah.
When I come back to YouTube, I think I want to watch and review.
Yeah. Please do.
that.
No, honestly, it's definitely not mind numbing. Makes you feel alive, smart, intelligent. It was very good.
It's getting an award for like best abs in film.
Yes.
think.
Yes. And best TikTok references. She had like a ring light. It was so good. She like woke up in the morning, turns on her ring light, and starts live streaming. I was like, yes, that's how our jobs work. And she's a TikToker. I thought she'd bring some reality into the movie. No, it's just awful.
A caricature.
Yes, of her own job.
Huh. That's
I'm
interesting.
embarrassed now because I thought you were being completely serious when you were praising it, and I thought it was really good. And I think it's important that people are still making films like this.
Yeah, no, I think she's bringing awareness to a very special art form, being a TikToker.
TikTokers should be given film roles
Yeah.
most of the time.
Nobel Peace Prizes.
Yeah.
Addison,
The guy in it isn't bad.
what bloke?
The you know the wrong un that they make
The wrong
a right un.
Am I going to be controversial and say I thought his acting was very much not much better than hers?
Well, I've not seen this.
I mean,
so
given
go
the
ahead.
material, like maybe
Yeah,
he just
no.
did, like
think
Hayden
they did their
Christensen as
best.
Anakin Skywalker. Like he did the best he was,
Yeah.
you know, the script gave him.
Yeah.
He's in Cobra Kai.
I bet he was much better in that one because I think the dialogue would have been much better than what he was handed with this one.
I haven't seen it.
At one point, she throws horse shit in his face, and that's like the punchline of the scene. It was very good, just very good acting. I thought, yeah, a lot of plot and stuff.
I hope they used real horse shit for that. Like,
Hopefully,
getting in there.
hopefully, yeah. I'm sure Addison Rae's picking up horse shit with her bare hands.
Because the film is real horse shit as well. So.
Yeah, just tie it all together.
I don't quite understand Addison Rae. I hear the name bandied around a lot. I'm vaguely aware of who she is. So I googled her the other day because I think I saw some memes about this. I think she's one of those people that she could go out and do some legitimate charity work for not her own gain, to help others tomorrow, and people would still have a go at her. That's kind of what I was getting from her.
Yeah.
She's only 20. I can't believe that. I thought, I don't know, baffles me. I'm not engaged with that type of thing.
No, I barely learnt their names like a few months ago. So that's kind of where I'm at with TikTokers. But yeah, she gets a lot of hate. I think it's just the younger crowd. Isn't that just kind of like the younger crowd just hates on anything and everything on the internet? Is that controversial? I'm sorry.
Misanthropes.
I'm not getting involved in like the ageist or generational fight. I'm just bordering another generation now. So not quite one thing, not
I'm on
quite
the
the
cusp
other.
as well, I think.
Definitely don't understand.
What are the
like
2000s?
TikTok.
Is that millennial or Gen Z? Gen Z, right? Am I Gen Z?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Are you?
Am I
You're
Gen
a
Z?
Zoomer. Is that what they're called?
It's like the cusp between millennial and Gen Z because I'm neither here nor there.
Oh God, Gen Z.
Yeah, we're late, very late millennials.
I'm not. You are. Hey, look at that. The furrows of worry on your forehead. They're mine.
They're not just furrows of worry. There's
The
furrows
Botox
of
does the deal.
furrows of
I'm
sadness.
considering.
Same.
No. You're too young. You're too young. Your skin is
I'm
great.
considering
Your
it.
skin is great. Just stay
No, I'm
hydrated.
asymmetrical and I want Botox to fix that.
Oh, for the jaw.
Yeah, like, because you've seen, like, everyone's kind of, like, asymmetrical, so I want to, you know.
My dentist won't let me get Botox in my jaw.
Why don't you just never go outside and live your life through a filter
That'd be
on
good.
Instagram?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
that'd
only
be
like a few people ever really see who you are.
good. Yeah, no, I think that'll be good for everyone involved.
Don't
Just
go
the jaw.
outside. Hydrate. Don't do drugs.
Yep.
Don't do drugs because
Yeah.
I attribute like a lot of this to previous drug taking. Maybe don't, like especially around the eyes. Because I think when you're a lot of coke, you're all wide-eyed and
I'll take all this advice on
restretches
board.
the skin.
Maybe
Kes
just-
Motion, he's back this week behind the camera, nodding knowingly with all of his what are they called? Crow's
Feet.
feet. I'm kidding. Your skin is so soft and
wonderful,
smooth.
beautiful.
It's lovely.
Supple is the word you're looking
Very
for.
supple.
What is this segment?
Well,
Also,
it's-
stop sleeping on your face. That will solve a lot of it.
What's she supposed to do? Hang upside down?
Just
Like the vampire that I truly am.
Yeah.
yeah. Just
Buy a silk pillow. They're wonderful.
There we go. Top tip this week.
that was
Avoid
the one thing.
wrinkles.
One thing I took from one of your videos. You're the only YouTuber who's ever got me to like consider following an affiliate link. I was like,
Yay.
I might consider buying this like nice hair stuff. I was
Yeah,
like,
no, it's great. Honestly, I'll do a segment if you need
Yeah.
me to. I'll come back and do a.
That's
sponsored
true,
segment.
actually, because
Spoiler:
I
I didn't buy it.
Oh.
I
But
did use your
I nearly
affiliate
did.
link once. Glossier, see? Never had a problem with
Wow.
that. Even kind of sort of given her money, really, by
Thank
using
you.
the Glossier link
I
to
do
buy all that
appreciate
stuff,
that.
and it was nice. So,
Feeding my shopaholic tendencies. I love it. Thank you so much.
I feel like some people are going to get mad just because I'm like, oh, I like her.
Yeah.
I like most people, I feel. Even, like proper crazy people, because it's just entertaining, isn't
Like
it?
me.
Except James Corden.
No. James Corden, big no. I will die on that hill. Just because
Draw the
we'll
line
get
at
into
him.
that later, though, because his life is an inexplicable glitch in the Matrix. Here's the thing that I did in the past few days. I finally saw The People Just Do Nothing, big in Japan film. Really good, actually, because sometimes there is quite a bit of difficulty with translating a TV show onto a movie format, the big screen. But it is like watching 4 episodes in one go. They did really well. So Corrupt FM boys should get on here. But I want Seeper, Mustafa, MC Grinder, aka the male Big Alizee Yeezy. I want him to come on here and just stay in character, and then I'll be in like an elevated character, and it would just be 2 narcissists bumping heads, like probably getting into fights because narcissists, they can't really deal with other narcissists.
No.
I think it'd be quite good. What do you think? You don't know who this person is, do you?
I won't be here because you said I'm not good enough for that show.
I didn't use those words. I'm sure.
Heavily implied it amongst like a barrage of other insults.
That's not true. I'm not mean to people.
Except me
Just
on
sometimes.
camera every week, and then off camera.
And off camera every day of the week.
And
Certainly off camera, like
Yeah.
and via messenger.
I experienced it. I was the counsellor here for a while.
Yeah, and prior to setting up this show, Angelika listening on me just berating Kes Motion for
Yeah.
existing, moving around. Look at him, he's on his phone right now. He's so disinterested in the stuff that I'm saying. I can't believe it.
Okay.
The face has been pulled.
Poor Kieran. So anyway, yeah, go out and see. If you're going to go to the cinema, go watch that. And I read a book, Flowers for Algernon. God, is anyone familiar with the book?
No.
It's
Algernon.
I was gonna wait and see how
Thank
many
you.
times you'd say it.
Oh, just because I say things, is it phonetically? I say things how I read them, just because I read a lot. My brain is well big and I'm not good at pronouncing things. Don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. I can do
Don't mean
better than that. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
We'll
You
just
can
simply-
Google how to pronounce words. It'll tell you.
I don't like being bossed around by robots.
Okay. Well, it's coming. So
Yeah, I know. We'll get into that a bit. But Flowers for Algernon. Thank you very much.
Spot on.
Cheers, thanks. I
I
love
thought you were
getting
going to mispronounce flowers then.
fleurs. It's about it's very sad. It's it's horrible. I cried for ages afterwards because it's about the terms that they use in the book, because it came out in the 1950s, are not PC by modern day standards. So they have a severely mentally handicapped man who they do this experiment on to increase his IQ from about 68 to 185, I think is the peak of his
Holy
IQ.
shit.
Yeah. So, and there's there's so sweet. So the book is laid out in progress reports, and at the beginning it's badly spelled, bad grammar, bad punctuation. It's just me texting people, really, equivalent to that. And he's saying things about he's got these friends at the bakery, and they will go out, and then he's always making them laugh so much, and it's a bit like And then as he gains more intelligence, he realizes that these friends that he's had are just bullying him, basically, because he's mentally handicapped, and that's horrible. And then there's this laboratory mouse, Algernon. The laboratory mouse, Algernon, is the one that they did the experiment on first, and they see that there's a decline in him, and so Charlie, the main character, he realizes there's going to be a decline in his. It's horrible. Because it's like essentially Charlie, as the intelligent hyper IQ part of him, is going to die, and I cried. It was horrible.
And you said it's not very long.
There's a short story version, which I believe most people in America grew up with the short story version.
And that was expanded into the novel.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, there's more background.
Oh yeah,
information.
because they study it for I think it's high school level. The short story one. So
Yes.
yeah, I'll read that one weekend, I reckon. Have myself a cry.
Yeah.
So I don't
Love
have enough
crying.
already.
In-
I'm a wreck of a man. So,
Yeah, that type of stuff really gets to me. Especially when you're reading and it's clear from your perspective that he's being bullied by these
Yeah.
people, and then he begins to realize it, and then he's also alienated from them, and in some ways he was happier when he was ignorant, because he felt that he had friends, and that stuff fucks with me.
How were
That
you
gets
You're
with-
gonna
me.
start crying.
Yeah, no, it's just so
I'm on the
mean.
verge.
These people just, and then he's recounting through, because he's remembering, because his memory wasn't so good when his IQ was lower, but as his IQ is higher, he's remembering all these kind of repressed memories of just kids being mean to him. And I hate stuff like that. I hate it.
how were you?
I will headbutt these bullies. I was getting the book and I was like, ooh, headbutting them.
How were you? Did you ever read Of Mice and Men?
We did it in English.
Okay.
We did it.
'Cause-
We
We did
read
it.
it. We read it in English literature and language,
Yeah.
Yes.
GCSE level.
Poor Lenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And those puppies.
Oh yeah.
And
No.
the ladies that he killed.
And the red
woman
dress.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
No.
Bless him.
I don't think it had the same emotional weight and impact. We all watched the film in English class. I remember a lot of the girls
The
crying.
John Malkovich one.
I
Can't remember which one we watched.
Oh yeah, I ruined that for a whole bunch of people in my class. We were watching it, and it was the puppy scene, and he just turns up, and he's all happy and whatever, and all the girls in the class in unison, just like a tide of ah.
So sweet.
There was a perfect comedic
Moment.
pause for me to just wait and go, yeah, that puppy dies. My teacher pissed herself. But,
You bully. You're
High school
nasty. If
fucking
you were in a
bully.
book as a character, I'd headbutt that book. Don't give me that quizzical look like an owl that's confused because like a mouse has started like gyrating in front of it.
we will have a boxing match eventually, I'm sure.
Oh, and I'll win.
Ooh.
I'll film it.
I could snap
I'll
you
commentate.
like a twig.
Yeah.
I'll
I
commentate.
grew up on the hard streets of East London. I didn't, but I act
But
like I did.
You pretend like you do, so I'm sure that will carry you right through 15 rounds.
I think
You
you'd
can-
put him in a headlock. I can see it.
I'm always putting my boyfriend in a headlock.
Yeah.
So I could put
Emotionally.
you in a headlock. Don't say that. Oh no, I can't say. I was going to say I love my boyfriend very much. Oh, that's horrible. That's simp behaviour.
Go on, say it.
No, he's going to watch this.
I
He's
like
not-
having him around sometimes. when
Sometimes
it's
he's okay, I
appropriate.
guess.
He's all right. It makes me laugh. What more could you ask for in a geezer? Not geezer. Why do I talk like this? Why do I sound like this? I need to come across more properly.
Yes.
Does I sound like a greengrocer? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
The
coming out
audience
of me.
reaction was-
Christ,
not doing
look at you unraveling.
I know. I'm
like-
going
God.
to pieces.
It's like watching a bin
Because I
rolling
want
down
to
a
show
hill
off in
and
front
like,
of Angelika to prove that I really like her.
right, how about you
The
stop
pressure.
chatting endless bullshit? What's next on the list?
Shall we? Endless bullshit. Perennially chatting shit. Forever. The void. You shout into the void. The void is just me chatting shit back. Conspiracy. No, I have to be careful with that word. Conspiracy. Fun conspiracies, glitches, parallel universes.
Yes.
Ooh.
Fun, not
Yeah.
those conspiracy theories. Doing good ones.
Because what I was really happy to discover.
The non-problematic ones.
Yes, just the fun stuff. I was very happy to discover the first time that Angelika and I FaceTimed to
Yes.
just chat shit about things. We ended up talking for hours on end about this stuff, and I was so
Yes.
happy to find a
Finally,
kindred
yeah.
spirit. And it was just it was nice to see that you're interested in that outside of the drama content.
Yes.
And it's a completely different side of you that I'm sure
Oh,
not
yeah.
a lot of people are aware of. So let's get a little bit
Go
into
on.
that.
Do you
Shall
bring
we
out the
see?
ASMR for this one, or
We can have a little
we
ASMR
leave that one for
segment.
Lizard men living in a hole in the ground.
that's where the giants went? Oh, fuck,
There's a huge ape in the hole in the earth.
I smacked the mic. I'm so sorry. That wasn't good ASMR of me.
Next theory.
What on earth should we start with? I've got a whole list of these.
Go on.
Go on, top of the list then.
Just,
We'll just-
point out one.
Top of the list is moon nukes.
Oh, I'm
and
so excited for this one actually. Yeah, go on.
He's excited.
Just,
No,
Get
genuinely.
myself ready.
The screenshot she sent me like a month
Go
ago.
on.
just give me a moment to find.
We'll wait. Oh, I
While
hit
you're
the mic
doing that,
again.
no, like it's one of those things where you're reading it and you feel like you're not even awake because it's like this doesn't.
I'm not real.
It's like what? No, what this shouldn't. These words shouldn't follow one another.
Yeah, it's not a sentence.
Literally what you're about to talk
Go
about
on.
on Wikipedia, the moon nukes.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's just so surreal. Where it's like no,
I'm
this
excited.
didn't.
I'm
this didn't
excited.
happen.
I'm happy to announce that this happened. Well, it didn't.
I'm happy to announce. Go on.
You're happy to announce that it
It didn't happen,
did happen, but the
it,
event didn't.
So it happened. The actual event didn't, and this is amazing. It's called Project A119,
Mm-hmm.
also known as a study of lunar research flights. Was a top secret plan developed in 1958 by the United States Air Force. The aim of the project was to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon, which would help in answering some of the mysteries in the planetary astronomy and astrogeology. What questions?
What mysteries?
What questions
Wait, what was the
require
fucking
that?
question? If nuking is the answer,
Just what would it be like if we nuked the moon? Is that the big question?
does it make a noise? Let's find out.
If the explosive device detonated on the surface and not in a lunar crater, the flash of explosive light would have been faintly visible to the people of Earth with their naked eye. This was meant as a show of force, resulting in a possible boosting of domestic morale in the capabilities of the United States. Imagine feeling so insecure that you need to fucking nuke the moon to feel better about yourselves.
That's literally
I know what you
atomic
meant.
dick swinging.
I know what you meant by this. Just doesn't. How is this?
Yeah.
This words just.
A boost that was needed after the Soviet Union took an early lead in the space race and was also working on a similar project. Tell the Soviet Union
She's not all right.
you have a small penis without telling the Soviet Union that you have a small penis. Because what is that about?
Give me a moment.
Are you okay? Oh, Alizee made Angelika cry all over the tea towels.
Just
Bully
clickbait.
Alizee, like Bully Maguire.
I'm forced to be here and I'm crying now.
There's a thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Your head replaced with old Bully Maguire. just
my
dancing
God.
away.
I can't believe it's just like a big dick swinging competition. It's just let's just nuke the moon. But what questions are we answering? What mysteries needed a nuke?
The United
Maybe
States Air
they're-
Force feeling insecure that the Soviet Union was winning in the space race. Like,
Just nuke the whole
Maybe
thing.
there was a moon ape caught in a hollow moon hole, and they
Yes.
needed to get him out.
Absolutely. That's a new theory right there, guys.
Makes as much sense as the rest of it.
Yeah. not much off.
I love that because the thing is, and this is a very loaded thing I'm going to say,
Go
I'm
on.
very pro nuking the moon, but that's because I don't like it.
What
We've
a
covered on
political
this.
standpoint.
Oh, yeah, you don't like the moon, do
Oh,
you?
this is not political. This is because why are you looking at me like this, Kes Motion? You know this is the way that I feel.
Go on. Tell us how you feel.
I'm pro moon nuking, but only for the right reasons. The right reasons are the reasons that I have subjectively come up with. I don't like the moon. It's nasty. I don't like that thing where it pretends to be bigger than it actually is in the sky, because then it makes you feel like, what if it
Pretends
falls
to
on
light
us?
up.
The moon scares me, and that's why I don't like it. So I'm pro nuking the moon. Funnily enough, this American online writer called Maddox, who has the best webpage in the universe, he wrote an article about this over a decade ago, saying that we should get rid of the moon, blow it up, and replace it with like a giant floating space head that has like light up eyes. I'm pro that. I'm not pro nuking the moon just to show that your willy is bigger
Right.
than all of the Soviet Union's. Not pro that.
But is the moon real?
Well, that's another
That's
thing
the
as
real
well.
question.
Who built the moon?
The aliens, of course.
Which ones?
All of them.
All of them. It's like a
It's a
UN project between the aliens. Like, look,
Intergalactic UN.
look, these useless chimp creatures down on this
UG,
planet are
United Galaxy.
fucking dumb, and they're going to
Look
need
what
some
I'll
brain
show them.
waves. Yeah,
It's cheese, guys.
That is a theory, actually, that the moon
It's cheese.
Is it a theory that the moon isn't real and it's either a hologram or a space satellite?
Yes.
And I think David Icke said that. Well, can I say David Icke's name on YouTube? Oh, I don't care
We
at this
did
point.
it
I've
in
got Angelika
episode-
here.
3. We brought him up in episode 3 because I thought I saw him on the tube.
God, we need to get him here. We need to get him here to find out if, firstly, should we nuke the moon? Secondly,
Because he's got all the answers.
he's a guru.
Yes.
He's a lifestyle
He knows
guru.
everything about the moon.
I mean, does the moon have some kind of anti-nuke defense, given that it's hyper-advanced? And the theory being, as I recall, it's basically what George Lucas and whoever else helped him do Star Wars based the Death Star off. And they're all in cahoots because they're Hollywood and therefore all connected to the big players. But yeah, the moon is essentially a kind of Death Star. Instead of concentrating energy to blow up Earth, it just sends radio frequencies down to keep us all very docile, except the kind of mental fuckers who it doesn't work on. And what's wrong with their brains?
No, that is the theory, that it's a hologram or something,
Yep.
and it's transmitting radio frequencies and rays to keep us subdued
So how are people
So nuke
constantly
it.
working out that it isn't
because their frequencies are just higher than the frequencies being beamed down at us,
an
i.e.
old
me,
Blue Peter
the
presenter
highest...
was the guy.
Who?
The old Blue Peter presenter.
Who?
David Icke.
No, he wasn't. He was a BBC sports presenter, actually. Let's get your fucking David Icke law.
Wasn't he Blue Peter?
I'm going...
I'm
Cat's motion.
Here's
Come
one
on,
for you.
David
Come on.
Icke.
Fact check.
Blue Peter
Earn your
presenter
fucking
equals...
paycheck.
I'm just looking at the moon as a hologram.
You're looking
It's
at the
good,
moon as a
isn't it?
hologram.
It's good.
True, innit? That is the truth of the matter.
Exactly. And the moon landing is fake.
Oh, that's a very low... I can't
That's-
stand
You
behind that. That's
get
too
you
far.
when we
Outside-
have Buzz Aldrin on this
Before we
podcast,
draw
which
the
we
line
will,
at moon
he's going to
landing.
punch you in the mouth.
So the moon is a hologram, but moon landing is where we draw the line.
Do you know what's funny about that? Joe Rogan, yeah, just to...
Exactly.
that's-
Thank
it never
you so
happened.
much.
You can land a hologram
Thank
on a
you.
hologram though. So what if the
The person was a hologram as well.
Neil Armstrong
and
was a
therefore it's
hologram
fake.
the whole time.
depends how close they got to do the hologram? Seriously, what were you? What did we just
David
want
Icke,
to
Blue
do? Yeah.
Peter presenter or BBC sports presenter. I
I know he
I'm
was.
right.
Yeah, the sports thing that rings a bell. I feel like, or maybe it's just on Blue
I
Peter.
really don't feel that they had David Icke on Blue Peter, like doing some little arts and crafts.
Maybe he was doing a sports thing with them. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused. No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't on Blue Peter. I am right. I am always right. I am the best podcast host in the galaxy, best MC in the galaxy. So do you think the moon landing was fake?
I like... See, the thing is, me talking about conspiracy theories, it's like problematic because I don't actually... actually, like with my brain cells, I don't actually believe any of it is real.
You just enjoy it.
But I enjoy, like,
Well, this is all a
surface
sham then,
level me is
Out.
like, oh, get out.
Yeah.
It's like surface level. I'm like, this is all like super interesting. I'm like, look, you know, to each their own. The moon landing could be fake, also could not be fake. I like to bring, I'm the central point here for everyone, the conspiracy theorists and everyone. I'm like, it could be fake, it could not be. There's some proof though. I've seen it. There was a waving flag on the moon. How does it wave? I don't know.
Something about radiation, winds, or solar. No, solar.
Don't ruin
solar
it for
wind.
people.
See, like, and I like this
And
stuff.
also the
I'm
physical
here, like,
motion
the
of-
Don't
naysaying
ruin it for people.
The physical motion of placing something would still.
No, it was like,
No,
I don't
because
know
it's
what it
still
was.
waving up there. It's up
It
there
was,
right
like,
now, waving at
waving.
us.
good for it.
That's nice.
Good.
How you doing? No, well, here's my convoluted
And
theory.
constant like little bits of space shit hitting it.
Space shit.
There's so much astronaut shit in the atmosphere.
I did not need to know that.
It's the thing that's most likely to kill you on like a spacewalk.
What, literally?
Literal front, like
Shit.
because they dump it.
Feces.
Yeah, because they dump it out of like the
No way.
Freeze
ISS.
dried.
Yeah, so it just has to go somewhere and it orbits the Earth and it's moving at like, I don't know, like 30,000 miles an hour. It'll just rip a hole through time and space in your asshole.
Do you want to hear my convoluted theory on what actually happened with the moon landing?
Go on.
And the thing is because this is so complex, because my brain came up with it, it has to be right. I think we went to the moon. I think we filmed footage up at the moon. I believe that coming back down to Earth, going through the radiation belt, the footage like just was rendered useless because it all burnt up. And
They had to refilm it on a soundstage.
they had to refilm some parts in the desert. That's why some parts look fake as fuck.
Yeah,
They're,
no, some
boom,
parts do look a little
satisfied
weird.
everyone. There's a conspiracy there, but not the one you want.
Yeah.
Because I think we did go. Why not? It's just the moon. I could go.
I could go anytime I want.
You should go.
I should go
Get
and
out.
just not come back.
Just now, maybe.
Yeah.
We've done a few now. It was
Yeah.
a fun run. Go see if there's a moon ape. I want to know now. Because
And if
we
it's
sent
hollow.
chimps up. Maybe they landed on the moon.
And a dog. That was
It's
devastating.
That's mean.
It was devastating.
They
Oh.
can't consent to that.
Little
I
space
can.
Chimp with his space dog.
Yeah, no, the dog that went up and died alone. That's devastating.
Yeah, Mars rover
I'm really
going
sad
up
now,
and
actually.
singing
Yeah.
happy Mars
Oh,
rover on
that-
Mars, singing
yeah.
happy birthday to itself.
No, I'm upset about that
alone,
one.
It's
trundling,
right.
and then it died, and then all of NASA like wept because it died, which I can understand because I was crying about
Yeah,
flowers
no,
for
that's so
Algernon
sad.
4 hours after I was trying to go to sleep, and then I kept remembering it and kept choking up. Look, I don't showcase emotions much, Kesmotion, but when I am affected, I go
Deeply.
hard.
Yeah, you don't love your boyfriend, but flowers for Algernon.
He knows I do. Don't say that. He knows I do. I just don't want to say it publicly because then I look like a simp.
You already said it publicly and then you took it back.
Oh god, I'm not taking that back.
What do you
He's-
think a
he's all
simp
right.
is?
Just showcasing any sort of affection. I'm very British.
No, that's not what it is.
What?
That's not what simping is.
Yeah, showcasing affection for someone. It's just weird, isn't it? You're all right.
Just a human.
Angelica's all right. Kesmotion's
all right.
all right. That's as
Sounds all
far
right.
as my boyfriend's a bit more than all right. That's as
Yeah, a
far
little
as
bit.
you'll get with me, unless we're talking about Keanu Reeves, and then I will be a simp. Or the fictional character Negan in The Walking Dead.
It's like 4 weeks in a row he's come up.
Or they've got a new season of The Walking Dead coming out.
Is it the final one? I
Yes.
saw trailers for it in the Odeon.
Yes, and
Um,
he did a naughty thing at the end of the first episode, and I just stand by. He did nothing wrong. Maggie, get the fuck over yourself. But actually, if it was real life and I was in Maggie's shoes, oh no, you wouldn't be alive. But as it's a fictional show, Negan's cooler than Maggie.
You're all over the place. What's on the list?
I'm sorry. We could either from the moon we could jump into flat Earth because I've seen Behind the Curve, the documentary
Yes.
on Netflix. I've seen it. What's everyone's
that
thoughts?
one.
Why do you look constipated?
Yeah.
See,
It's
me and
just
Angelica
so
are well
much
in
to-
sync.
Unison.
I'll rant and rave about these people, but I'm on your side that like, most of them are quite nice.
Yes.
So I'm not going to like,
The audience don't know my side yet. I want to be very as inflammatory as possible.
Yeah.
all right,
piss
fuck them
everyone
all
off.
then.
No, not about them, just to the audience. I watched Behind the Curve, and afterwards, me and my boyfriend watched it actually, and we were both of the opinion afterwards that this is kind of sad, not in the way that
Yes.
you'd expect, but sad as in, sure, you do get in the documentary. I'm very aware the internet is different, and so don't apply what I'm saying to anything else. This is specifically on the documentary. There are some dickheads in it. There is this one bloke that's like, dinosaurs are all fake because the Earth is only 6,000 years old, and it's like, okay, well, you're clearly just a creationist, like fundamentally religious person. shut up, get a grip. We have carbon dating for a reason. Like, not for that. Dinosaurs did exist. Get over it. They weren't here. What's the Bill Hicks sketch where he's like, dinosaurs were put here to test my faith. I believe you were put here to test my faith, dude.
How does carbon dating work, Alizee?
Go on.
Am I a scientist? I don't know.
No, hang on. So you're just taking it for granted that big science is... So you're just full of shit.
Something.
You don't know how it works. You didn't take the time. You didn't take the time to learn it for yourself.
How do you know it's actually real? How do you know it works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
explain that to me.
Well.
She's in on it.
I'm in on it. Yeah.
I'm being paid off by big science. Joe Rogan's being
50
paid
quid a
off by
month.
big NASA. I'm being paid off by big science. Not even that, just like some salt and vinegar crisps is enough to pay me off.
Some meal deals.
Just a few vegan meal deals worth their weight in gold. No, it's sad in that a lot of these people in this documentary, they're just quite sweet, and they've clearly been pushed out by society in the first place. They're clearly a bit odd, and they found this community where they can be a bit mad and say some rather whack things, but they're so nice to each other, and some of them were really, really sweet.
Until they're not.
Oh, yeah, but that's like anything. Look, as soon as me and you fall out, that's I'm going to slag you off for podcasts on end.
Yes.
That's like with anything
Feels
in the
like
public
we're falling
eye.
out right now. You want to go?
Your days are counted.
Guys, somehow I'll snap you like a twig. Your back will flake like a flake chocolate. Snap in half. I'm joking. Sorry, Susan Majewski. I'm not endorsing violence on the podcast. No, some of these flat earthers, they're quite sweet and stuff, and it's just clear they've been pushed up by society. And some of them are quite scientifically minded, not scientifically literate, but scientifically minded. They're going out there doing experiments to prove that they're going out there doing experiments. In another lifetime, these people would have been with mainstream science, right? Mm-hmm. I think those people in particular, they're not hurting anyone. Leave them to it. Let them think the earth is flat, because I don't think we should try and force them to be part of the society that pushed them out in the first place. A lot of people, I kind of half believe that a lot of people are just fundamentally bad. The society we have bullied them in the first place. They left, formed their own little group where they have their mad theories. They're not really hurting anyone, these people in particular. I feel
just
like I'm digging myself into this hole
into
deeper and deeper.
Oh, you'll find the hollow earth in a minute then.
Yeah. Find the giants.
What else was I going to say on it? Hold on, I lost my train of thought.
They're not hurting anyone.
They're not hurting anyone. They're quite sweet.
Except for a whole generation. Actually, the one instance where actually they fucking are.
Go on.
There's a bit in the documentary where they're talking about the children who are like piping up in class now, and there's like full generations of children trying to refute science from their teachers. Like, my parents and my grandparents told me the Earth's flat, and you're just in on it, and it's like, no, you can't. You can't start indoctrinating kids. It's like,
but you can say that about anything. Like, so many kids are indoctrinated. You can say that with religion, you can say that with whatever. And then the role of the teacher is there to be like, okay, let's unindoctrinate. Because everyone...
Well, they're not helping. That's my
every
point.
child goes through some kind of indoctrination from their parents, because, there's lots of things you grow up thinking are normal. Not anything whack, just, things you think are normal. And then you see other families, you're like, oh, okay, right. So the role of the teacher is then to be like, well, no, and...
It concerns me that there's like...
Yeah.
There's a pattern already like being put into them of like anti-science.
Yeah.
And it's a very specific mode of thought where they're just not willing to consider certain things.
I believe that you should question all authority all the time.
Sure, but don't just shut it down and say you're wrong because you're an authority. Yeah. Actually then have the balls to follow through and then admit when you're wrong. Because most people are not humble enough to actually realise they are wrong and admit it.
Oh, I say it all the time. I'm wrong about everything. I'm probably wrong about this, and I'll change my opinion in a week's time when I found evidence to the contrary, that actually they're bullying each other and being nasty. But from the documentary, it was a very sympathetic angle, and some of them... It
was.
Bob Noden, whatever his name is, he seemed quite... he was the one doing the experiments, and he...
Was that the guy with the laser?
Yes, the tall, balding guy. And, he said how... growing up, people called him weird, and this is someone that very clearly in a different life, in a parallel universe, he would have gone down the mainstream science route. And there's a scientist in the documentary that does paraphrases a lot of what I'm saying, and says that we should try
You're
to
paraphrasing what he's saying. I think.
I'm just stealing what he's saying. No, he summed it up quite succinctly, and I was like, I agree with that, because that's quite balance. We shouldn't then, some of these people, like the bloke who's like, oh, dinosaurs don't exist. Yeah, make fun of him. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
But the rest, like, I don't think we should be poking loads at fun, because then it's just ostracizing them further. And society, we should make society so it's like people want to be a part of it. You know, sometimes I don't want to be a part of our society because it's just everyone's a dick, including me. I said this to my friend once, and he was like, don't you fucking dare start defending flat earthers, because you will officially have gone too far. And I'm not defending flat earthers. It's just, I kind of understand a little bit where some of them might be coming from, just in that we go through life and there's so much that you just can't know as a person. There's so much that is unknowable, and there's so, you know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a philosopher, I'm not many things, I'm not a medical professional. So I have to trust that the people I'm trusting actually know what they're talking about. I have to trust that some scientists know what they're talking about, and some medical professionals, when they give me medicine, know what they're talking about. I have to trust that, because I don't have the knowledge myself. And I think that was flat earthers with some of them. It's they don't want to do that trusting because it's a bit too much. So I can understand how someone can get to that position where they're like,
it's a spiral.
I get it.
This is what I want to talk about with their like leaps in logic, like moon logic, because they will take a couple of facts and start to build a pattern out of them, and it starts to become more and more rational the more you look at it.
Yeah.
But it's like tunnel vision, because as soon as you turn around and look the other way, you have to then accept all these other things that don't fit the pattern. So in terms of like flat earth, the size of the conspiracy around it is vast. Like NASA, space agencies, telecommunications firms, weathermen, literally everyone. Yeah,
weather
you
people.
could
Not
say
weather women.
Weather people.
I can believe that a lot of corporations like work with one another, and
Like the Bilderberg Group.
Through umbrella companies like buying one another out,
exactly.
sure, but not individual people.
No.
We can't even keep the plot of a fucking Batman movie a secret. You really think
Alone
we can
this.
keep something this size by paying how much people getting paid?
Yeah, but also, like, what's the point? Because I'm always like, there's
To
a
what
conspiracy
end?
theory comes up, and I'm like, okay, well, I believe people believe this because of this. Like, this is the end goal. Like, I don't know, fucking moon landing was, we wanted to be the better country. Like, Russia was supposed to be first. We're going to fake it and be first. Kind of makes sense. America's kind of like egocentric in that way. Flat Earth. What are they hiding from us? Whether it's round, circular, fucking heart shaped. Like, what's the difference? What's the point? What is the point?
Maybe they are hiding the hollow earth.
They are hiding the hollow earth. That's it. That's how we've reached the
What's living?
conspiracy
So
theory.
you said giants earlier.
Well, yeah, apparently there used to be giants. Just in case you guys didn't know, there used to be giants. And
In a non-specific period of time.
Non-specific
When?
period of time. Non-specific giants, just giants of some kind. And there's like some footprints that have been found, you know, because no other accident could have caused a random shape like that to happen. It must have been giants.
They're really difficult to fake footprints as well.
Oh yeah, very difficult.
Famously difficult.
And there's these mountains that look like huge tree trunks, which I don't understand. So like, those tree trunks were reliant on the giants existing. So if like, I don't understand how one links to the other. But anyway, giants, and they're now in the earth. That's why you can't get through to the core of the earth. Not because it's hot, because there's giants there.
So with the tree structures, because I think I remember the ones you're talking about, they're like mountainous, great things, and they say it's more similar to like a petrified tree than it is to like other stone. What the hell do they think the Giant's Causeway is then? These people, the one that's on the side of like Ireland and Scotland with the really geometric stone patterns that are like hexagonal pillars. You've seen the Giant's Causeway, yes?
Pardon?
She's lost. We've lost her.
Don't talk
Come
to
back.
me. No, don't address me. When you talk to me, don't look at me in the eyes. Look down at the. I'm sorry.
The bullying that just happens in this podcast.
I'm aware of some legends of folklore, like with giants in Ireland.
Listen, bitch, I asked you a question.
Answer it.
You fucking misogynistic piece of shit. No,
This is the segment we're
You
calling
man.
We're Having a Fucking Row. Shh, you sit quiet, Angela,
Hands
for
are
a
being
bit.
thrown.
Sit quiet, girl.
I asked you a very simple question
Female.
about the Giant's Causeway. If you knew what it was, and you started slinging insults, so this is where we are now.
People are actually going to think we're beefing. No, not.
Are you not? Oh, okay.
I do feel like this
Believe
is
it or
ringing a
not,
bell.
we're getting on.
I do feel like this is ringing a bell, but there's a lot of bells that are always ringing, so
Yeah, it must be exhausting being you.
it is. Like, you know, monkeys, like infinite amount of monkeys, infinite amount of typewriters. For me, it's infinite amount of monkeys and symbols crashing. So go on, tell us more about the giants.
Tell us about the giants.
Causeway.
Well, it's not necessarily about the giants. It's just like conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
If they're willing to believe like the tree thing, like the giant mountain trees, but something really specific like the hexagonal shapes that just stones have created by themselves, I find it difficult to believe that they won't accept, like that they would accept that as a natural phenomenon.
No.
Why isn't there more about that?
Because that's not. Don't ask too many. Don't question.
I'm asking the wrong
the
questions
conspiracy
now.
theorists.
Is
They
there
know what they're
any-
doing.
But that's the issue with conspiracy
Yeah,
theories. If you
it's-
just ask the wrong questions, then it does
There's
start to
it
unravel.
falls apart. It all falls apart.
Yeah, except for
Like,
the
what is at the
reptilian
edge of the
theory
earth?
and Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth and Flat Earth are not in any way related because Flat Earth is for simps, weasels, wastrels. Why are you staring at me? Pedestrians. You know, Flat Earth is like it's for filthy casuals. Hollow Earth, because the Earth is spherical,
One above.
and yet North and South Pole, there's entrances to inside
Side
the Hollow Earth.
Earth, where you find the giants.
Do you
Or reptilians.
believe it's just a physical barrier that, like, if you just walk, it's like going through a tunnel and you
Rob,
just
I
walk?
don't believe much. Or I believe
We're
everything.
not actually
Who knows?
believing any of this,
Depends,
just
depends
to
how
be
I
clear.
feel on the day.
Because in the Godzilla documentary I saw recently,
Oh, that was great. I saw
Where
that
they-
one too.
yeah, where
Millie
they-
Bobby Brown, incredible investigative journalist.
exactly, and that's the kind of thing you'll be doing, I suppose, with Kes Motion, like just
Ooh, promo.
Asking
Me
the
and Kes
vital
Motion
questions.
going to be doing some documentaries coming your way. Oh, well, we'll see, right?
But in that, when they go to the Hollow Earth, they go through like an extra dimensional portal that flips gravity and messes everything up. Do you think it's like that, our Hollow Earth, or is it just
No, it's a
Earth is just a
shell, and you
floating
just
brick?
walk into it.
You can just literally.
Yeah.
Will you be upside down when you get to the other side?
No, you're not upside down when you go to Australia.
Aren't you? Where's Australia? I've heard theories that Australia doesn't exist.
I was about
Me
to say
too.
that.
Yep.
Also, there's no flights.
Big believer that Australia doesn't actually exist, and it's just
And
CIA
Australians, I
operatives,
don't think you're real.
actors, paid actors,
Oh yes, paid actors.
millions.
Really
of them.
good ones, like Hugh Jackman.
He's a method
Yes,
actor.
it is.
He's really
Yeah.
sticking to his role of 50 odd years.
Okay, guys, Hollow Earth. I do get that one. Donut Earth. You seen that one?
Isn't that's the Homer Simpson theory of
No,
the
that
universe,
actually
isn't it?
exists. No, you're offending people now. No, that actually is a theory that it's a donut and not a flat Earth.
Okay, so where's everything in relation to?
Where's the hole, and what does the Earth taste like then?
I don't think we're tasting it.
So,
Well, let's
He's
see.
doing the
Flip your
fact
laptop
checking.
round.
Go on,
Let's see
show
the
it to us.
pictures.
It's all. See, I told you it exists as an actual theory.
I'll put
you
up
guys
an
are
image on
laughing
the
at me.
screen right now. Audio
can I just have
listeners,
this as
just
a
And you
Google
guys
it.
are laughing at me like I'm the
bring
insane
it
one.
on.
Oh, don't make sure people can't see us like porn tabs.
Oh, there's a lot as well. Christ on a bike.
Oh,
How's
Kieran's
that?
into some interesting things.
How does that work logistically?
Like, how do they fit so many up one? Anyway. But good on him. Good on him.
Great.
Yeah. No, I just wanted
Yeah.
to see like where the countries are in relation to one another. These are really blurry images. I'm starting to think this is suspect.
Might not actually be real, guys.
Well, there's one here that has like the core,
Yeah,
like
so
in
the
the
core
middle,
is
but
in
on
the
other
middle.
ones, it's just C.
It
And
depends who you ask.
Some donuts
you
don't
brought
have
me a
holes
bunch
in.
of bullshit, Kes Motion.
Some donuts are different shapes. Some don't have holes in. So
Exactly.
But
You
there's
know.
only one Earth in this
If-
timeline.
That's what you
So
believe.
maybe I was just looking at Earths from a different.
Parallel universe.
well, if the multiverse theory is correct, and we have loads of parallel dimensions and universes and blah blah blah, blah imagine millions of me's. Brilliant.
And somewhere there is a flat Earth. So.
somewhere. Well, the
They're
universe.
time traveling.
If the universe is infinite, anything that can be has been. Like, it just exists. Anything that can be exists in an infinite universe, right? I didn't say that. Some like fucking physicist said that. So don't start shaking your head at me, Rob.
Don't you dare.
You're doing your greengrocer voice again. Free for a pan.
It's when I need to square up.
Yeah, very aggressive
like,
greengrocers.
like some animals, they get all like big and puffy and their hair gets spiky. Me, my voice just goes down a few octaves and I
Go
start
South London.
proper. East London, innit?
South London.
Okay.
So in the universe, there could be some flat disk. There maybe if the universe is
Donut?
infinite enough, maybe if it doesn't.
Hollow?
I mean, we have a laws of physics, but
But
scientists.
there's a
cares about
universe where
those?
physics doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, scientists are prepared
Theory.
that maybe in the next 200 years, like the laws of physics as we know it are just going to be moot because they're going to find a better law of physics 2.0, new and
A
improved.
younger, sexier,
Younger,
set of physics.
sexier. Yeah. So,
Kind of physics that gives us what we need.
what do you need?
Yeah, tell
Turn
us
into a
about that.
therapy session, Rob.
Go
Are you okay? Are your needs being met?
No, I don't like
Next
it.
question.
It's too
Oh,
much
he's
attention.
closed down now.
Next question.
Ha. Well, I know what to do when you start mouthing off.
Because hitting me
Sorry.
doesn't
I'm
work.
sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm covered in bruises.
Vulnerability is where it's at.
So, Mandela effects.
Oof, yeah.
I have one that I discovered.
Go on.
A YouTube one, right? No, because this genuine, I do feel kind of like I've somehow gotten onto a different world timeline, and if I have, it's a really boring one because
Why this one?
This is very mundane, but it's just something I've noticed. So Tana Mojo,
Yes.
Mandela effect.
Fake Tana
Mojo.
Mojo.
Do you know her friend and co-host on the Tana Mojo podcast, Hunter Moreno?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Hunter Moreno appeared on, because I've been watching her channel for years. Started off as a bit of a hate watch, and then I was
Yes.
like, oh, it's all right actually. And then she's interesting to just view.
Yes.
Hate watch.
Hate watch, yes.
Well, yeah, because this whole
Like Kes Motion's porn tabs.
this
Just
whole
aggressively.
iDubbbz thing happened. I liked iDubbbz at the time, so I was like, oh, who is this girl? And actually, it's like, wait, she was 18, and why was he going to her? Like
Yeah.
viewing that now, like as an adult,
In 2021, yeah.
because how old was
She was 18-ish.
and how old was he?
Like 25.
Because I think he must be like 30 now.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 25 or thereabouts, I look back at that and think, oh, yeah, I wouldn't have done that, gone to an 18-year-olds convention just because what they said, go something yourself, censor that out, go
Yeah.
something yourself on Twitter. Like, you're the older person, just get the fuck over it. Don't turn up at her convention being...
Weird.
Yeah, at the time I thought it was funny, but I was
Same.
immature. I
Yeah.
was a late bloomer of my maturity. And then when I matured, finally, I was like, oh,
That was
no.
quite scary, yeah. She did exaggerate the story quite a
She
bit.
totally exaggerated it.
But
then
also
that's to
in
be
that moment,
expected.
yeah.
It's to be expected. It's Tana Mojo, but you shouldn't have. That's a bit weird. Anyway, so Hunter Moreno, one of her friends, first appeared on her channel a few years ago. And I remember when he appeared, a lot of the comments were being like, I think she was 19 or so. And he was 27. And, they
I remember
dated.
this, yeah.
And they did lots of clickbait videos, but it turns out they never dated. They just did the clickbait. But there were lots of people. I remember specifically saying at the time, he's 27. It's weird. He's so much older. Why is he hanging out with her?
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching their podcast the other day, and I was like, I wonder how old he is now. He must be closer to 30 or 31 or whatever. And I Googled him, and he was born in 94. He's 26. But I distinctly remember several years ago, people saying he's 27, he's in his like mid to late 20s, in that midpoint. It's odd that he's so much older. When in actuality, he's only 3 or so years older. This wasn't one website. All of them, their birthdays, all of them. I was just Googling 100 Renault age. I've swapped world timelines into but that's so mundane and fucking boring. So what is like the elder god? What's
Or-
Cthulhu doing? What's he playing at?
That or Tiny Mongoose paid for
Was just lying.
the websites to change his age
But why?
Or she
because
lied
otherwise it's
initially.
creepy.
Or maybe she lied that he was 27 at the time.
But there were so many
for
comments
clickbait.
saying. I don't think they even said his age in those original, but there were so many comments.
I
saying
think
that
they
he
lied
was-
and de-aged him
Yeah.
because otherwise you've just switched timelines in the most banal,
Boring way.
meaningless way. Everything else is the same.
Except for that one minute fact.
Yeah.
And I definitely did not
doesn't
misremember
affect
it
you.
because I remember reading comments at the time. Because even I thought it was a bit, because I think he was originally friends with Bella Thorne. And even I at the time thought, well, if he's 27 and Bella Thorne's like 20, I mean, it's not unheard of. Like, but I'm not of the opinion that like 27-year-olds should be maybe romantically linked to 19 or 20-year-olds just because there's still so much growth and development and like
Yes.
mental maturity to go through. And, being older than 25 now or thereabouts. I went through. Like
Who
it was like,
knows?
who knows?
Depends
I'm
on the
timeless.
timeline.
Well, exactly. I could be 21.
You're like the Doctor.
I remember being 25 and still being quite immature, and then one day something just clicked, and the things that I used to find really funny, like I don't know, calling people virgins, which at the age of 25 for a girl as well, and we're supposed to mature more than boys. I think I was very stunted.
Yeah, you're like a fine wine now.
No, I'm much more mature and wiser and, like less reactionary than I was at 25. So it's a bit, I just think of being my age now and like, hanging out with a 20-year-old, it would be, you're very aware of how young. Anyway, yeah. What's going on there? Tana Mojo, come onto this podcast and tell me. Explain your friend. What's going on? Is he actually 30? What? I'm confused. This is a Mandela effect. I don't know what's going on.
She's not going to tell you because she paid to have it covered up.
Exactly.
Why
Allegedly.
Are you blaming her? She's not doing anything. She's just existing. Let's not blame her for once. It's him.
I just assumed she'd have more money than him.
Yeah, she does.
Buy out famous birthdays. Do you think you can do that?
I think it's probably really fucking easy. Yeah, just like, hey,
I bet it's run by like a 15-year-old.
Pardon?
I bet it's run by like a 15-year-old or something. So I'm sure she could just pay them off.
Make him bank. Fair play.
If you're just paid to do the code to like change the details, and someone gives you like $5,000, I don't give a shit. I'll make you whatever you want to be.
I don't know. I'm very confused.
Plus, do you actually fact check things? Because there's always like really random things on those websites. Did you fact check anything? If she was just like, no, you guys are wrong.
What else you got?
Oh, you're bored of this conversation, are you?
Next.
Someone's age inexplicably changing.
I don't care about these people.
Moving on.
I might be insulting this guy. Well, it's not insulting to say that someone looks like closer to 30. 30's not old. I've got some 30-year-old listeners. Yeah. I know like one person is, I don't know.
Me in a few weeks.
It's not that much of a. It's not an insult, is it? Say you're older than you look. That when you were supposedly 23, you looked 27. That's not an insult, is it? I'm sorry, but I'm very confused, and I'd like someone to enlighten me on what the fuck is going on.
Look at you digging away. Impressed. What is Bohemian Grove? You know probably the most about it.
It's supposed to be like a boys' club for rich, powerful men, where they go and do rich, powerful men things that I'm unaware of. And apparently it's supposed to be really creepy, and I like to believe the creepy side of things. I don't think they're just going there to have a drink and do drugs. Like, I'm hoping that they're doing some. No, I'm not hoping they're doing sinister things, but like that would make it a tiny bit more interesting and less lame.
California, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think because there's like a redwood forest there, and I think that's where they're.
And they're like burning stuff in there, and they're like setting things on fire, doing cult-like things. I bet they're like summoning a demon. For some reason.
The club itself is made up of like former presidents, current presidents, world leaders, but also like prominent artists
just
and
like rich people.
Hence the bohemian side of things.
Yes.
But the thing that got me was women are allowed, but then not after sundown.
What's happening after
sundown? No girls after sundown.
How lame is that?
Incels
fucking lame.
Or sex pests.
Like, it's just, I don't want to believe that it's just like a club for men to, like, you can meet up anywhere in restaurants and casinos and I don't want to believe that.
But it's theirs. I think there's something to be said. There's like influencer parties as well. Like, what was it, like Fire Festival or something that was just a scam?
Yeah.
But it was meant to be really exclusive, and people will pay anything to feel exclusive. So these like rich douchebags.
Don't ruin it for me.
Well, there's videos of them burning effigies and this giant owl.
Wouldn't you
though? An owl is a symbol of the Illuminati because it represents wisdom and knowledge.
A bunch of like creepy stuff happening.
If I was having a group bonfire, I would definitely create an effigy to burn.
Okay.
Just because anyone filming it would then
think that
like what's going on? When most of the time it's super banal. Like,
I just think it's sinister. They're all sitting around like a big campfire, like no women.
Spooky stories.
Yeah, no women, no kids. Just like it sounds more lame now that I'm actually saying it out loud. I'm sorry. Like in my head, it was very like sinister. Now that I'm saying it, you're probably right.
That's because we're under like these harsh studio lights. So you know.
Hang on.
If we just
tone it all down.
Get some candles.
I don't want to believe that it's normal. I want to think that it's like sinister. Illuminati, New World Order. There we go.
Well, there is something to be said about there's a lot of these secret societies where they do practice weird rituals. So the Skull and Bones Society, which George Bush Sr. and George Bush were both members of, which is an elite sort of, I don't know if it's a university, maybe it's a university thing, but someone went subterfuge into one of these little meetings where they were doing these weird rituals where they were pretending to kill each other and be like writhing in pain, and that's like weird anyway, to role play you doing a sacrificial ritual. Like, that's a bit odd in itself. Like,
well, sure, but
yes, it is a bit.
I mean, it's weird.
I would rather they do that.
Sex acts on each other.
I would rather they do I was going to say I'd rather they do like the sacrificial ritual rather than like shoving shit up their ass, carrying it around an assault course for a bit, putting it in someone's drink and making them drink it. Like,
Yeah, that sounds not a fun time.
yeah, I've seen that in like TV shows and stuff, or like frat houses and stuff, like just all the worst stuff. Like better the weird occult stuff than
burn something
the
in a
nasty like
campfire.
frat sex stuff.
Is it better the weird occult stuff? Will you be saying that when they actually do summon some demons to
Depends
eat
which.
people?
I don't. Yeah, what are these demons doing? Because
What are
It's
you
like
doing?
going to the pub, hanging
being
out,
nice, yeah.
I don't know,
doing
these
crosswords.
people, like, because these people are super dull, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Like
The rich.
world leaders and the
Yeah.
rich, they are so fucking dull. That's
Have
why
you
they
met
need.
What do they
them?
come up with? Like, what are they coming up with?
So
that's-
I've got like someone I'm in contact with worked through like the Met Police and had to like liaise with the government and deal with like MPs, former and like current prime ministers and stuff like that. And you quickly realise that they're not so intelligent that they're manipulating everyone. They're just a bunch of selfish dickheads.
Yeah.
So their desires are just really, really plain and boring. They just want to feel in control and they want money. Like Theresa May is not a sinister overlord secretly controlling everything. She's
I've never
just
said
kind
that. I saw her at a market once and she was slumped over. Her body language was frail and weak. I could have, again, another person I could have snapped like a twig, like a twiglet. I should be prime minister, don't you,
should.
think?
You should.
of no,
He's
please.
not impressed. No. Okay, so what we're saying is it's rich people just doing rich people things, and they're not actually summoning.
It's more fun. I think
Illuminati.
I think it's more fun to just assume they are doing
That's
something
what
really
I mean, yeah.
bizarre. Because the reality of it is, it's just some very boring people
Yeah, but
being
why-
All right,
dicks.
then what about Jeffrey Epstein's Island,
Island.
where they're doing fucked up shit, nasty sex acts, and also, apparently, according to some eyewitnesses, demonic ritual things where they wear the head of Baphomet and then do nasty things to kids. What about that? That's messed up. That's not banal and boring, is it? And that all actually happened. Citation needed.
So what's happening in Bohemian Grove?
Sorry, when you said citation needed there, did you just spout off a whole bunch of bullshit?
No, but like eyewitnesses and obviously the Jeffrey Epstein, sex stuff with kids. I don't want to go too into that because it gets into like murky territory of, well,
Crimes.
Yeah, I mean,
don't want to get sued by
Sure.
his estate.
rich pedos. There's a missing link there between rich pedos and actual demon.
Once again, it's not linking.
I'm not saying that there's actual demons. I'm saying that some of these people might believe there are actual demons.
I don't know.
I think when, like, say Jeffrey Epstein, and you're so depraved, and you've done depraved shit that most people would never or wouldn't even conceive of. How can I say that? Basically, I reckon Epstein probably did maybe once or twice engage in cannibalism.
Ooh.
Oh.
I mean, I just kind of.
Yes.
I just think when
Just
you've,
to try it.
when you've broken all the taboos of society and you're
Definitely,
so untouchable, and he was a psychopath.
Yeah.
I do think that there would be, because blood drinking and cannibalism is a final taboo.
Mm-hmm.
It's looked down in all cultures.
Along with hunting your fellow man for sport.
We have so much folklore around blood drinking and it being a mortal sin. I mean, there's even the ancient Greek folklore tale of Tantalus and him feeding the gods human flesh and how that was such a sin and now he's eternally damned.
That's Greek.
Yeah, ancient Greek, I said.
Did you say?
I said ancient Greek.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I was
I said
just-
ancient
Mandela
Greek,
effect.
fable, folklore, rewind it. That's what I did.
Yeah, I heard Egyptian out of nowhere for some reason.
No, well, there's probably there's probably it's throughout all, that you shouldn't do these things. I think when you're such a psychopath and you've already broken some of the main foundations of what not to do in society, and you think you're untouchable and you're on an island and you're already like flying people in to be abused, I reckon, I don't know why I feel like that feels a bit wild for me to say. I reckon
That's
he
not
probably,
what I think. That's pretty logical. I think that's like a logical next step for him.
I think it ties into the psychology of these people doing it anyway because they feel very empty.
Yeah.
Which is what motivates them to get that amount of money and influence because they feel it'll fill a hole. Whereas a sensible, sane person doesn't actually need that much money or power.
No.
They're quite happy with what they have.
Yeah.
And they don't feel this never-ending urge to just do the next thing. So like you said, they probably are just like doing everything under the sun to just feel like there's some meaning or like...
And also like the exclusivity thing that you spoke about, which is like, this is so like not for every... in like the worst.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. Stop making
Cheeky
me laugh.
cannibalism. It's not for the masses.
No, it's like it's another thing that they're doing that's so like, you know, it's just for us. Like this is the us team. Like we're doing this thing on.
You can basically convince like a small number of people to do anything with
Yeah.
enough peer pressure as well. So bit Lord of the Flies style. Like just get, you know, they're literally doing it on a fucking island. So
Yeah.
it's not that hard to believe.
I just think if you're engaging in that stuff, then it's not a massive leap in logic
No.
to assume that some of them might have put on a fake head of Baphomet and danced around naked and tried to incite some sort of, 'cause, you know, but he was probably bored a lot, you know, so, and, you know, there are quite a few figures in history who were psychotic and also had an interest in the occult. Like, I don't want to get too much into it, but Hitler famously was, and a lot of like the high up Nazis were really into occult shit. I don't want to get too much into it because it's quite heavy. What's heavier than billionaires like maybe eating?
Maybe.
Well, don't want to get
Cannibalism.
sued by the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein, though there is the theory that actually Epstein is
It's
still alive.
I love
I
those.
kind of believe that was. Same. I kind of believe
Epstein.
I'm just worried now.
No, he could definitely be alive, or he just got killed by all the other strong, powerful men that didn't want it to be released.
I don't think I've met a single person that thinks that he actually did kill himself. I think
No,
it's pretty unanimous in that. Oh, what? So yeah, he killed himself, and also the
Cameras were off.
The
The
cameras
guards
were
were
off. The guards
sleeping.
were, you know, and that night. I mean, take this with the biggest like bucket of salt that you can acquire. That night, I did see screenshots of supposedly someone on 4chan anonymously saying, "I work at Epstein's blog, and a lot of us have just been let off work, and we think something's going to happen tonight."
I wrote
Again, massive.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was me.
Well, no, but it was before it happened.
Glad you
That's
read
the
my
point. The
writing.
dates where it was just before he did or
Ah.
did not. Someone once. I have this friend. Yeah. I love him so much, but like I feel like he kind of one-ups my conspiracy theory sometimes. So when we were talking about Epstein, he came to me and said, "I reckon Epstein's still alive," because he was already he was like the spider in the spider's web. He had this pyramid scheme of, you know, sex trafficking going on, and it would just be easier to keep him as the main guy than to replace him with someone else. And I think someone like Epstein, who had Lolita Island, was kitted out with microphones and cameras, and so was Lolita Express, you know, to get politicians over there. Get them to do the dirty, have it on tape, and then you can blackmail them. You can get away with whatever you want. I do believe that he would have a dead man switch in place. It's like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. Julian Assange has a dead man switch for WikiLeaks. So if he gets compromised in any way, I think WikiLeaks keep back some information from the public. So it's like leverage, it's life insurance. If Assange gets bumped off, more stuff gets revealed to the public. I think someone, you know, with Epstein's power and money, I don't know how this podcast turned into this. I just believe logically you would have a dead man switch of some former
Definitely.
president maybe doing an illegal act with, you know, and nothing like that
But
got released is my point.
If politics recently has proven anything, it's that US presidents can do whatever the fuck they want, and people will support them more because of it.
Yes.
So honestly,
Even
why are they
being on
hiding it?
the island.
Yeah, why even bother hiding it? Just be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I did it.
Pretty fucking baller move.
Now what?
Hang on, isn't that paedophilia? Yeah, what are you going to do? Oh, I suppose so. Carry on then.
People
Yeah.
turn around being like, huh, based. Ballsy
Yeah.
that they said
Yeah,
that.
wow.
At
At least he's honest about it.
Because there are so many pictures of like, I hate for this to be political, but like just like Trump on the like, what was he doing? Because
All of them were like, I never say this stuff, but you know, Clinton's, Trump's, like all
like
of them.
let's take
a
the
few times,
names
right?
out of it, just so it's not political, right? Like big figures going over to the island, and people are like, yeah, but how do we know that they were actually? Well, what were they doing over there? Just like closing their eyes and not seeing
There's some
the.
interesting flora and fauna there.
Yeah, it's just, you got some
Catching
good
a bit of sun.
decoration here. Oh, there's a child walking. Like it doesn't make sense to me that like they would go over there and not contribute to the crimes that were happening.
Or
I
at
thought you
least,
were going
or
to
at
say
least,
economy there.
No,
The economy of the island.
the economy of the island.
or at least be super aware of what's going on.
Yeah, and
It's
if
like,
you're aware and not doing anything about it as a powerful person, you're just as guilty by association by not doing, like you're going over there, you're seeing things happening to children and stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. going to fly back though multiple times to have fun, I guess. It just doesn't make sense. I feel like, yeah, he definitely have some like, and wasn't there the documentary where the woman that actually survived it, she was like, there's cameras everywhere, he can see you even if you're on like the cliff, he'll see where you are. And
was her name Genevieve? Was she the one with Prince Andrew? Or
yes, the one that was trying to run away, and she was like, yeah, I tried to like run away, and he knew where I was at all times, even on like random cliffs and different forests that they had on this island. So he was like, I'm assuming he's got recordings of people doing things to children, so if he was, you know, still alive, he could be like, I just think they would either kill him or they'd keep him alive just to keep him as the leader, so his ego is stroked and he gets to still be the leader of the depraved, and they don't get to be exposed as depraved.
And actually, in the Filthy Rich Jeffrey Epstein documentary, there was a very interesting point that they made, and then they just never really followed up on it. And, you know, my friend telling me his theory, it kind of a bit of confirmation bias on my end. And what they said in the documentary was when he got I don't know if it was a suspended sentence, when he got put in prison the first time round for basically one count of, I think it was maybe prostitution, like prostituting someone, and it wasn't for all the other stuff got chucked out, and he had to go to prison for a year, but he basically paid the wages, chose to pay the wages of all the guards at this prison, and he would just come and go as he pleased. He would just like go off, and they had this whole bit where they were talking about how he was always so good at getting out of trouble. You know, he did that, he paid off people so he could, you know, come to and from prison. He worked at some kind of firm, I don't know if it was with law, he worked at some kind of firm, and
he didn't have a degree at all.
He lied about that, and he worked at this firm for several years, and then when they found out that he lied, they kept him on because he convinced them. They're like, well, hey, you know, I've done a good job so far, right? And they never really follow through with that point of, and they make the point, he was always so good at getting out of trouble. And what's the best way to get out of trouble for something like this? Oh, fake a suicide, maybe it could happen in an infinite universe. It's probably already happened on one of the other Earths, the flat Earth in the parallel multiverse.
He's either out there somewhere, he's just been killed by like all the other rich white men that were like, oh, we're screwed.
Well, that was all very heavy, and we like to keep it fun and lighthearted and not go on about, you know, not, oh God, do I have to say not all billionaires are going to, I'm sure Bill Gates
Oh, yeah,
isn't,
they
I'm
feel
sure.
so
Yeah,
offended.
Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they're just too busy dick swinging in space to get up to nefarious
think
things.
Which one of them do you think will nuke the moon first?
Ooh,
Probably Elon Musk, and it'll be accidental because he'll just build something and it'll fucking blow up again.
yeah.
What a useless sack of... Anyway, carry on.
Well, you're ruining our chances of getting Elon Musk on this podcast, because that's clearly what I really want.
Oh, he'll just buy us out. It'll be fine.
Yeah. 100 million on Spotify. Huh, Joe Rogan, I spit on your deal. Elon Musk will give me £1 billion just to not mention him.
Exactly.
I saw a Facebook status the other day by Jeremy Kaplowitz, who is some kind of internet comedian, I guess. James Corden is the most worked with the robots to betray the humans and get put back in the Matrix as a famous actor person to ever exist. James Corden's career is a glitch in the Matrix. Discuss.
It's pretty inexplicable. He went from being semi-humorous man on English TV to American talk show host, being in Cats. I keep bringing up fucking musical Cats each week. It's weird. But James Corden keeps coming up, so... Yeah, there's like a smokescreen of his appeal, I feel. Or people are just that easily led to believe that this man's entertaining. And there's seemingly no limit to how far you can fail upwards.
just bullying him. Poor man. We are very sorry.
I'm
poor
not.
him with his millions.
I'm not. I do want to know if stateside, does anyone actually find him entertaining? Because the unanimous...
Yeah, the general consensus is like he's not entertaining, but he's still
people
really
over here
successful.
seem to not like him a lot.
But he's
We're glad we
very
exported
successful.
him.
Get out.
Yeah, because wasn't he a dick on... He was a dick on a lot of things. Didn't Patrick Stewart be really nasty to him?
Patrick Stewart was mean to him without cause, actually. I'll defend James Corden there.
Was he drunk? I think I've seen the
Probably.
video, and I think like Patrick Stewart was just a bit drunk, and then he said he
was body shaming James Corden, actually, which is not fair.
Yeah,
It
not
isn't
fair, not fair.
No,
I mean, like, just
we don't
pick on
do
his
that.
personality. He's
Yeah,
enough
there's
of
so
a
much to
dickhead.
work
There's
with
content
there.
Yeah, you don't need to body
No,
shame someone.
that's one instance where actually, and James Corden was right up until the end there, he was being kind of sweet about it because he said, like, I genuinely do want to be here and this does mean a lot to me. I was like, fair enough.
thing.
And then
I feel bad now.
No, then he started having a go at Patrick Stewart, and I was like, well, you could have left it there, but never mind.
Could have left it there, have the audience on side, but instead you.
Then he went and shat on Peter Rabbit, so.
Which I'm not going to watch.
Neither am I.
Any other glitches in the Matrix?
What's another glitch in the Matrix?
Have you experienced this?
No, I'm actually very boring.
Can we include sleep paralysis as glitches?
I was going to bring up sleep paralysis. Do you want to recount your?
Go on.
So I've had it a few times, just where, as far as I can tell, I'm in a very real scenario, and there's just a figure moving slowly through a room, coming towards me, and I've managed to break out of it by like screaming and sitting up. Mm-hmm. But my friend, holy shit, he already feels like his bedroom is cursed and has been for a long time. Like, someone died in there, and the spirit.
Actually? Someone died?
Yeah, like I, as far as I know, someone actually probably did die in there. The room is always way colder than anywhere else in the house. Doesn't seem
That's
to matter.
not a good sign. I've seen enough horror movies. Not a good sign.
Yeah, not great.
No.
So, could have been like an old lady with like pneumonia dying or something. But he woke up in his bedroom, but everything had been changed to like a 1930s, 40s aesthetic. Mm-hmm. So there was like wireless radio, all the carpet and sheets and everything had like morphed, but it was still recognizably his room. But he was face down on his bed and he couldn't move. And then a woman appeared on his back. I don't think she didn't have hands or something, but she kept like putting more and more pressure on him and like digging into him somehow, and then asking him, "Is this pain?" over and over again.
I'm terrified.
And he was like melting into his mattress whilst this woman is like putting more and more weight on him. And then there's like some other woman holding like flashcards up. Bit like that bit in Love Actually. The guy outside on the street. But horrifying.
Rick
instead.
Grimes. Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes. That's him.
Is that where I recognised him from?
Yes. To me, you are perfect.
Sheriff man from The Walking Dead is creepy douchebag on the street. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I feel less bad about that guy sleeping with his wife. He was trying to do the same to someone else. He moved away from London, rebranded himself as a sheriff. Fair enough. Yeah, and I watched a few like documentaries on sleep paralysis as well, and they're all really creepy.
Yeah.
But the comment sections are amazing because it's full of like fundamentalist religious types of quite a few denominations, actually. It's not all Christians. There's Jews, Muslims, there's like Hindu stuff that was kind of interesting as well going on. But lots of people debating like using the name of Christ. There was a thread of like 700 replies on one of these, back and forth, about how yelling the name of Jesus when you're in sleep paralysis instantly wakes you up.
Okay.
Tana Mojo did that. She had a whole video on her sleep paralysis.
I'll try that
she would, because Tana Mojo is very religious, actually.
Does she invoke Jesus?
She's a Christian. Yep. She would shout in the name of Jesus Christ.
Do you think that works because Jesus is magical, or because your subconscious relates Jesus to being a powerful figure?
Then wake up.
I don't pretend to understand the mind of Tana Mojo.
Who am I?
I know everything about her, don't I? Jesus, it's a bit creepy. Tana, come on the podcast.
What's her favourite food?
She likes Cheetos. I remember.
I was going to say like the hot Cheetos. I think.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
The fact that we're like huge. We just come out as like really huge fans.
I've done videos slagging her off, but it's just because I just want her to
get better,
do better, and like
progress.
Have a life where she's happy.
Just notice you.
Oh yeah, and
you
just
like
like
a kid throwing
Tana
like
Mojo, please.
bits of rubber and pen lids at the back of her head in class.
Like in The Simpsons, where Homer's like Flanders, and he turns around like, "What? Pictures over there." May I recount my sleep paralysis?
Please do.
Interdimensional reptilian psychic stalker.
Go on.
Yeah, so when I was a teenager, I spent an inordinate amount of time reading up on spooky things, like people that would come to your door and their eyes are so black and their demands be let in, and let them in. That's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. Or sleep paralysis, or what occult paranormal stuff. Love that. And sleep paralysis the idea of it always frightened me because you're immobilized, you can't do anything, and there's witches or demons screaming in your face. One of my friends suffered with it, and she would have like this old woman like screaming in her face. So I was always really scared of it and hoped I'd never get it. And then one day in my early 20s, I did get it. I just realised I'd woken up and I realised I couldn't move at all. And the way my head was, the blood was like rushing through my ears, but it sounded like screaming. So that was my first experience of it. I think it actually came from, I was having this nightmare where people were coming up to me and like yelling in my face. Not like just yelling like, oh, you suck, but screams like banshees. It was screaming in my face and I couldn't get away from them. And then when I'd woken up, I was had sleep paralysis. And I think I had another time where I sort of saw like an old man in my doorway temporarily, and then sort of I would snap out of it pretty easily, but it's not fun to realise you can't move your fucking body. And then I moved into this...
As any K-holer will tell you.
Yeah. Then I moved into this new place where I lived there for a few years. And the place, I don't believe in... Well, energy exists, but I don't believe in get some crystals there to improve the energy and put a mirror up there. And I read something fun the other day in the metro where if you have a windy path to your doorway, it's harder for negative energy to find its way into your house.
Nice.
Oh, I'll send you the article, Kes Motion. It was like the metro's really running this stuff now and like pretending it. Okay, fine.
When the other week they were slagging off people like being critical of like vaccines and stuff like that. So there is an irony there. There's an irony. I'm not in defense of anti-vaxxers, but there is an irony in the Metro, a newspaper calling anti-vaxxers anti-science, which and then
valid, but then a windy path. Because
keeps the demons out.
The negative energy gets confused. It's fuck
God,
this.
where do I go now?
Can't navigate this. It's like a maze.
I love how demons are so powerful and
So dumb.
so powerful, but so dumb. Yeah, like
Windy
they can possess
path and
you.
a mirror. They'll do the trick.
They'll spend months moving your bed sheets around, putting plates where they shouldn't be, and, but then what the fuck do I do with this?
Yeah, it's still a straight path.
So I moved into this new place and there were always bad vibes about it. And I think it might have just been the place it was. It might have been because the neighbours upstairs were always like screaming, like sounded like they were going to kill each other, several times throughout the week. So then I started getting quite a lot of sleep paralysis. To be fair, I was drinking and doing a lot of drugs at the time, and there would be times where I'd do a bunch of coke, and then a few days later I would get sleep paralysis because your body just, if you're pumping so much shit into your system, your body can't. It's trying to, because it's a stress thing as well. Sleep paralysis, it's linked with stress. But the sleep paralysis started getting more and more interesting. So one time, because I would realize I'd have it, and then I'd be like, I just need to get this over with. But it started getting a bit physical once. My eyes were closed and I'd woken up, realised I couldn't move, and someone got into bed with me and put their hand around me.
Oh God.
And when I opened my eyes, like there was nothing there, because I was going to scream out for like one of my mates. I was going to, because that's not, because, in the blurry half dream, like half awake state, I thought, one of my flatmates must have just got into my bed accidentally and that's why they're spooning me. And there's no one there. And then another time I felt the duvet cover go back a bit and the mattress next to me, like the space next to me, depress. Like weight was put, because people say to me, it's all in your head. Fucking explain that, motherfucker, that the mattress next to me, I felt it go down, and I'm like, oh shit. And all the time it felt like there were claws on me. That's why I call it the reptilian demon stalker. And once I had an eye mask on, and then I wake up with sleep paralysis, and I feel something stroking, and I'm by myself. There's no one in my room. Someone just stroking my hair back, and then I start freaking out, and I moved to a new place.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I moved to a new place. It happened a little bit. I thought I saw a ghost in this bedroom once, and then it just stopped happening. It was, for some reason, that time period of being in that particular place with those particular like nasty neighbours, doing a lot of drugs. That was really, it wasn't a fun time.
No.
It wasn't a fun part of my life. Just lots of sleep paralysis and lots of demons. Like it got a bit boring. I got so used to it. It got a bit boring because it felt like there's some sort of interdimensional reptilian demon here that thinks clearly I'm their girlfriend, and that's where all the hair stroking and the spooning with the claw and getting into bed with me. Like, get a grip, mate. I was single at the time. I wasn't interested.
Nice to have attention though sometimes.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm so loved.
What's your love language?
I'm so loved on an interdimensional level. There's even reptilian demons are loving me.
Or
I'm amazing.
You have to go all the way to another dimension to get some.
Oh.
Not all the way, because the dimensions are like here existing, but we're only seeing a third D frequency. So probably in the fourth dimension, or the fifth, probably a room full of fourth dimensional beings all clapping.
Be nice to me in the outro this week. So mean.
Be nice. Go
All
on.
right. I'll keep that.
Try with that face and voice.
Oh God, fine. I'll be nice.
I'm gonna keep this in. I'm being shanghaied into being nice. So that's the end of this episode of the Alizee Yeezy Show with me, the best MC and podcast host in the galaxy, the big Alizee Yeezy. Loved, not just in third dimension, but all dimensions, if my sex pest reptilian stalker is anything to go by. Thank you so much, Angelika, for being here. I've loved having you here.
Thanks for having me.
You're great. You're very pretty. I do like you. That's Angelika Oles. I really like her.
Yeah, definitely.
And Rob, thank you so much for being here. You're lovely.
I'm great and very pretty.
Your
I'm glad
hair-
I'm here.
Your hair's so nice. I like your shoes. You're dressed really well.
You're doing good.
Like, really cool. You looked really cool the other week when you had those faux.
The ladies' leggings that I bought from Sainsbury's from the
Yeah,
women's
you looked
section.
really cool. I liked them. I'll have them. I'll have those leggings. Thanks.
You will not.
Thanks for bringing your Moomin biscuits in.
Oh
They're
yeah, they
really
were
good.
great. They were so good. We'll be
And-
right back to Poland.
And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, listen to us on Spotify and iTunes, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.